Hey everyone, I hope you all had an amazing day and welcome back to Theonopolis for a little bit of an overview. I haven't really shown you guys how the areas that we have recently built actually look like in its finished state. Also, Alia pointed out to me that, it's a bit better to somewhat give closure to one area before we move on to the next, because what we're going to build in the next few videos is going to be in a completely different area. But yeah, so we're basically just going to walk through the castle, palace, a little bit of the main street, and actually also the Acropolis. Because I always, or many times have mentioned, I want to redo the Acropolis because it's like the very first thing I built and it's something. But yeah, we're basically just going to walk through the areas and yeah, really just how Theonopolis is somewhat meant to be seen. And I just love walking around in first person. So yeah, we're in the caves that are the entrance to Theonopolis, but yeah, let's just quickly get out of here. And I also said in many videos that the bridge is the first thing you see when you enter Theonopolis. I forgot about Mr. Tree here and Mr. Tree there. So yeah, the first thing you actually see is this tower of the palace and maybe the first gatehouse. So yeah, this tower is going to need to be very impressive, otherwise it's kind of a downer. But I'm also quickly going to say the palace is not completely done. You can just see the block building. Because the palace is really just a building that gets built in, I think 3 blocks I wanted to say a day, but a week. It's a very slow progress. But there is some difference between what I've shown you guys already and what's now there. This is just the worst angle to look at it. Or at least the worst area to show progress, because there's basically none. But yeah, also, I did not realize this before I started, this. But can anyone see a face in there? Am I the only one who can see a face in there? You have one eye, the other eye, or eyebrow, the brow bones, nose, mouth. At least it's a happy face, or somewhat happy. So yeah, basically we are going through the gatehouses. This is nothing new, so I'm quickly going through here. Also, this area is again what I lovingly call the pit of death. Just on a little bit more of a realistic thing, you're just surrounded by just places where archers could be. And then, yeah, you would leave this place as a hedgehog. Also, you have first 2 portcullises to contend to. You're basically funneled in here. Then you have a drawbridge. Again, not to mention all the arrows that you just collect here. Just turning slowly into a hedgehog or a pincushion. And then you have the drawbridge. Then you have 3 portcullises. And with each portcullis there's more room for archers. And then also, yeah, this is not going to be, as I said, Theonopolis might be a little bit difficult to conquer. But yeah, basically the lower bailey, let's completely forget about that house because that's not finished. So the smithy, I'm not going to go there because there's an effect there that is just so loud that I don't want to go deaf. But it looks really pretty from here. Also, you can slightly see the palace here. But having the temple here on an elevation also makes sense realistic wise, because blacksmith is important, that building is not important because it's not done. But the temple's a more important building, so having it kind of like on an elevation with like this being the only entrance to it, kind of makes it a more secure thing. Also, I got too close to the blacksmith and I already heard that effect. You probably aren't going to hear that because, well, I'm not going to include the game sounds because then you also would just be deaf from the train there. But yeah, having the more important buildings on a little bit more, well, difficult scale to reach, kind of realistic. Also, we have this little farm area here. Like, I first thought of placing some like storehouses here, but this is just like, it's so nice, and I want to have like a little shed there, so that, you know, it just looks nice, it looks peaceful. I forgot to fill this planter with plants, so let's quickly move on. Also, I really expect like an autosave every minute now. But then also, like, again, Theonopolis is really built for the views, because look how the gate like perfectly frames the Gulpy. Gulpy! Yeah, every time I see Gulpy, I just have to scream Gulpy. Like, he's my favorite, just of all the entertainers. And now he does a little dance. But yeah, the gate just perfectly frames the Acropolis and the main street. Now, we probably should get up to the palace before I start completely losing it at a dancing Gulpy. And again, like, the amount of travel that you need to go through to actually get to the gate to the palace. Also, this is the only gate with actual doors. And there's like, I forgot to also place a handle on there, so there's like no way really to close it. Then we have a little archery range with, well, this was mostly just placed because I thought like, alright, you know, this is an archery range. The people training here probably won't be the best archers. You don't want to have your guard there being turned into a hedgehog because of faulty archers. Then another gate. I'm not going to really go into all the gates because this is basically a copy of the first gate. This gate is a copy of the second gate that we saw in the Pit of Death. So yeah, going up the mountain road, again, more places for archers because I really want to turn people into hedgehogs here. But it's like nice and peaceful. You see the completely unfinished backside of the library. I'm also turning deaf because I'm quickly going there. Waterfall and a small little stream because I just liked having waterfalls like all surrounding the castle. Also makes it even more defensible because, yeah, I don't see an army coming up this hill. Then having a nice little gazebo or pavilion just because the road to the palace is long, like it is. But again, also strategically advanced, like strategically appropriate, that the road to like the important building is basically the longest. I think we haven't, yep. I already said I expected an autosave every minute now. And then again, the trees perfectly like show like just a little peek of the planetarium. We aren't able to go up there because, well, actually, when the planetarium wasn't finished yet, I could go up there because I would just go up the hill and clip through the wall. But now I can't do that anymore, sadly. So it's still a beautiful building and articulations. I wanted to say articulations. I probably should articulate a bit better. But it's still a workable tower actually. I also, like I said, that I wanted to build a gate here, but yeah, then I got a little bit carried away with the main street. And here, just a nice little view of Theonopolis at my feet. Because there's my palace, there's the rest of Theonopolis. And this wasn't planned, but this dive tower is just perfect from every angle, almost. Maybe not from the angle from like the Odeon, but from every angle looking inward to Theonopolis. This is just somehow always at the perfect place. I'm going to show you guys that when we reach the main street. But yeah, the basically fantasy like bridge, which is, I don't know why I did this, but I just like the roofs. I forgot to put the light in there, but yeah, just I like the symmetry. Words. So going up to my castle, because those towers you already seen, or not castle, my palace. I need to zoom out just to like, it's not symmetrical, and I like symmetry, but in some way, like, the chaos of just the random buildings just works. Also, another thing. Like, I still need to fill out this area, but otherwise I would have like the perfect view of Theonopolis, as I said, at my feet, because I'm such a narcissist that I put my palace at like the top of the biggest hill overlooking the best spots in Theonopolis. And yeah, I also still like need to fill in like the planters, because then it really comes alive. But it's still like, yes, as I said, it's not finished yet because block building. But this palace is, I wouldn't say completely realistic in like how it looks. Like, this is probably way too detailed, because, well, it just is. And it's also sometimes like, why is there like just spill or not uncovered stone just sticking out? But it looks pretty. Just, yeah, just all the views. I'm going to go into my perfect, or what, my favorite view of Theonopolis right now. But this is what makes this palace somewhat realistic. Like the main hallway, and then the courtyard, which every building basically is just like sprawling out from this courtyard. And this palace actually has two courtyards, because it's a palace, so it's supposed to have a little bit more, like it's supposed to be like really big. And then another balcony, because I really need to just have the perfect views. Also, you can, if you have watched Theonopolis for a long time, you might already spot some differences in the Acropolis. I really just like how it's just like, when I started building Theonopolis, everything was like really straight actually. Like, all the temples are like at certain angles. Like, angle snap was my best friend now then. Sometimes still now, especially when building a building. But when it came to roads now, everything is a little bit more organic. Also, yes, I do have a huge just waterfall. Actually, I have two. Trying to stand on just the walls, I'm probably going to get stuck sometime. Actually, I already have gotten stuck in like that ravine that I showed you earlier with the Ghostbusters car. I just got stuck there. Like, there's no way of getting out of that ravine. Also, I got stuck on the stairs of the Acropolis. And I mean, like, literally stuck. I couldn't move. I think I see... Do we see Guppy? And he's again dancing, because he is amazing. And then my little tree house. Yeah, I tried to build scrolls, like, because books aren't like historically accurate, but for some reason they just remind me of toilet paper. So I must have eaten a lot of peppers that I need that much toilet paper. And yeah, somewhat appropriate. That I just don't want to be disturbed while I'm building. Or just when I'm like in the scroll zone, as I call it. Yeah, it's dangerous to disturb me then. Yeah, the waterfall. It's just nice. Also, I'm turning deaf because, of course, effects are really loud in this game. So that's basically the palace so far. Oh yeah, and like the second courtyard is here. This is really what I shown you guys, like the block building, but this is the roughest phase that is. I also don't know what the earth here is doing. It's just doing normal Planetcoaster stuff. Then going into just a mountain or maze of pillars, because why not? I'm really going to get stuck on a wall sometimes. And I also have like a nice little pond here. Like a nice little quiet pond. Nothing happening here. I think I said this already, I don't want to fill the mountains with trees because frame rate. That's also why some things have changed in Theonopolis. Like, I've actually made the borders of Theonopolis smaller. Not in like built borders, like I've actually expanded those just to create the mountains, but yeah, some mountains have just pushed inwards. But now going back to the main street. While we're traveling to the main street, because this is going to take a long time, I quickly want to just... I really thought we had an autosave or that my game was going to crash. But I quickly want to talk about, like, with Plant Zoo coming around, well, the first thought I had was like, alright, let's like put a break on Theonopolis while Plant Zoo is around. But then I thought, like, in the coming weeks, I have a little bit more free time, so I'm just thinking of like, well, what we're going to build in the next few videos. I can basically, this is the worst way to say it, but bromios it, so build it all in a very short time span, and then record it all, and then just basically pre-record a lot of stuff so that there's not going to be a break in like building Theonopolis, but there's going to be just, you know, I want to remain with like the schedule of Theonopolis because I finally for I think a month have been able to stuck with Theonopolis or like consistent scheduling. Gulpy! Bye bye Gulpy. Also, I just want to stay here, like the travel actually took a little bit shorter than I thought. Yeah, so when the beat out Plant Zoo comes around, I will probably just have like the normal scheduling for Theonopolis and then also have Plant Zoo in like in between. So Wednesday and Friday I hope to still have Theonopolis, and then in like the days in between hope to have Plant Zoo. So yeah, it's going to be quite something. But anyway, the main street, like this again, the view, just I'm really proud of the hotel that we've built. And then also, yeah, it's just, again, the layout of the hotel is basically the corner shop 2.0. And here is what I mean with the dive tower just fits in perfectly with like the heights of the buildings. With that I mean, like, the station here has this like higher outcropping. The corner shop has the tower and it's just in general higher. And then the actual like station where the train comes is lower. So it's like a perfect valley that just frames the dive tower perfectly. And as you can see, yes, it's not finished yet. It never is with me. But this is just... And again, like, the framing of the Acropolis and such. Oh, and there's the train. Yeah, if you wondered that when you saw the blueprints, why is there just this random planter sticking out? It's basically just for the tree, or for the terrain, so that you don't run into it. And this is like my favorite view now of Theonopolis. Just with like all the nature going around, like you can see like just a little bit of this waterfall, but then the entirety of this waterfall. And just the framing in between the tower, the palm tree, and just quickly, like, you guys probably didn't, well, you probably heard me smash my keyboard, but just the amount of screenshot that I take while here. Also, he was happy. Yeah, I'm paying all these autosave. Of course, I'm paying my staff a whole lot just so that I don't have to be bothered by them. I don't know why I have staff actually, because there are no guests, I think, ever in my park. Like, it's always closed. And just... it just looks so good. Also, little spice shop. Just wanted to have some like spices from all over the world. And just little market stalls. I think this one is actually a bit too small, but people were smaller back then, so yeah. That's just my whole excuse for if something is too small, which is generally not the case. Then it's just, it's so pretty, and then you have also this view, and like just every view with my palace is like the best view according to me. I'm not that narcissistic, I hope. Perhaps I am actually. Then the station with the nice little like staff area. That's like, looking at it from this, you generally just don't wander there. Like, it doesn't look appealing. Also, I should have basically closed the coaster, but it's nice to see it in the background. And then just having like this little bit of like dock area, or just I want to stay here. But we have to move on, and I quickly want to show you guys something I've built. Another Showa that's completely not done yet. Like, there's one shop there should be probably 2 more or so. And I want to have like some kind of ride here so that people actually come here, but again, great view of the Acropolis and the pharaohs. So now we should probably go further into the main street, otherwise I'm just going to be gushing over every little view. Yeah, I'm just taking screenshots constantly, like I always have done that. Like this, I don't know, well, mostly because like the train station is gone here, but it just looks a lot more inviting. And just with like the small market stalls, it also feels a little bit more alive. I really am hoping to once just open up the park, have like 1,000 guests, because I probably can't handle any more. And just see how this main street fills up. Because most of these like side areas, or like Mr. What was his name actually? Ironjaw or something? Captain Ironjaw, or I don't know. Like, he's literally just, I don't know why I placed him there. But it feels so much more open. Every, like, even these things, well, the pavement of, I don't know. But those are also accessible by the peeps, so there's no train coming. Yeah, I really have, I think your name's Ironjaw because you have an iron jaw, but I don't know for sure. If you know, please tell me. I will probably be able to find it out just, you know, after we've done recording, but yeah. Small little, also forgot your name, like I only remember Gulpy. That's the most important also, so yeah. If I ever ask you guys who is my most favorite entertainer and you don't say Gulpy, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'll say the horses. I was actually very surprised to find out that those were recolorable. Train. And again, I'm really happy that we like removed the station. Like with the train even coming around, just this view, and yes, the roofs of the towers do disappear. You might be wondering why, going further by Captain whatever your name is, why the roof of the pharaohs doesn't disappear. That's literally because I was searching for pieces so that it wouldn't disappear, because it would look weird with, well, screenshots with the roof of the pharaohs just disappearing. That's another statement of just like, yes, I really take screenshots and views in Theonopolis very heavily. Like, Nice view. Okay-ish view if like the coaster comes around. But if like just if that roof disappeared, then it would just break the entire, not immersion, because again, like Theonopolis is not really realistic anymore, but it just breaks the nice view. Also, nice view. This is probably the only reason why the side of the library is done, because it's a nice view then. And now with like the coaster coming around, that's also kind of good. I miss Gulpy. Where's Gulpy? I don't know where Gulpy is. Also, this is going to be like, I'm trying to make this into one take. I might cut out a little bit of rambling, but I just miss Gulpy. Where is Gulpy? I don't want Captain whatever his name is. I don't dislike or hate him. I'm just like, I always forget his name. Also with like the adventure entertainer. Again, the view. Everything is more important for the view. I really, so going up like we're clipping through a wall there yet, but there's not much change in like the entire, well, the big temple. I wanted to say Parthenon, but it's not. I think it's actually bigger than the Parthenon, or at least I think it's a lot taller. But I really want to redo this space. Like the candles and such are nice. I'm also like way zoomed in, but it's just a little, it's a little deserted. The inside of the, yeah. Also, nothing has changed here. You can really see that I don't know why, but I hate saying like, oh, I've improved or I've gone better or I'm a good builder, because I don't know why. I'm really in a precarious situation right now because I'm probably going to get stuck on one of those boxes. But just look at this. Like, I'm so happy that I've just changed the entire entrance. Maybe you can also see Gulpy from here, but I doubt it. I think Gulpy went into like the harbor area. I think. I miss him already. But yeah, the major change when it came to like the Acropolis is just all these walls. These are just the walls basically from the castle. And yeah, it's unfinished, as you can see, like with some missing pieces still. Yeah, and yes, this is a copy of like the smaller gate from the castle, but it just gives a little bit more cohesion to the area. And yes, this area still doesn't have like a proper bridge yet. And that's actually a main point of what has changed in the Acropolis. Oh, I also forgot to remove that piece. But yeah, this is probably the biggest change in the Acropolis. We're missing a temple here. And I've always said, like, I think right after I finished the temple, I was just like, I hate it. But I think back then I was just like, I want to get off the Acropolis. So I'm probably going to redo the temple and just build something better. I'm still happy with like the rest of the buildings. I'm not happy with like the gardens, because those are pretty bare. Like going into like Aphrodite's garden, like this was once filled with roses, but I removed that. I haven't rebuilt it because I forgot. But yeah, that's the one thing that I can actually like say like I've been better at with like foliage to make something look a little bit more natural. Like this garden was just way too just weird. So I'm going to redo basically most of this area. And then this is another statement too. I hate bridges. Because there once was a bridge here. Now there's a cable car. Because, well, realistically, this water now is like too large to basically have a bridge going all over this. And then also you need to think of like the height of the Acropolis. So you would have a very large, tall bridge that would just look really bad. So now we have a cable car. And I've already, again, because views are important, when you go with the cable car, the view on the Midas district or like just the area with the Odeon is amazing. Again, everything is for the view. But so the most that has changed is like the towers, because those early towers were horrible. Like I could really just honestly say that, like some buildings when I first built them are like very, well, this is a prime example. It's empty, it feels hollow, it's just, I was also like planning on removing this arch. It's just, yeah, it just didn't work. So I'm going to probably do that off screen. Also, like now I found like the perfect color for like rose bushes in Theonopolis. So I'm like, should I change all these rose bushes to fit in with the rest, or should I just let them for like just old time's sake? And just we're going back to the biggest and greatest view right now, which is of course my palace, to end off the video, because that's basically all I wanted to show you guys. I hear the train, so let's not get run over. I'm missing Gulpy, so I'm also sad. That view. I'm just constantly taking screenshots. And oh wait, the perfect view was right with the palm tree at the left, the tower at the right. So before you ask, yes, I always play with like the, what's the name of it again? Like the filter of like Sepia, I think, or Sepia 2, one of those. Just because it just not like bleaches out, but just makes all the trees and such a little bit more brownish. And right now we're also having like reshades on it, so that's like the reason I'm scared of my game crashing. I'm also, I hope we had good frame rate while I was recording this, so yeah, that's going to be fun seeing that when I edit, because this was all one take. I love to just do things in one take, just because like my rambling just goes everywhere then. But anyway, this basically was it for everything we have built so far. Oh wait, I have one area actually to show you guys yet. Not yet, but that yeah, I should really close that thing. But really, like, it's a little bit like of a dynamic feel. Like, yes, there's a little less. Again, you guys don't hear it, but that coaster is so loud. I'm just going to quickly pause it, but it really feels dynamic. But this is also a little bit like there's a little bit less effort put into this wall, because, well, you already have this balcony, the drying area. So yeah, it's also the backside of a building. So even back then, like buildings that weren't really, or like sides of buildings that weren't really seen, weren't really put in much effort. Going back to my happy place. But yeah, that was basically it for today. Well, you can kind of thank Alia also for this overview, because, well, otherwise I would just have gone straight to what we're going to build in the next video, or next week, which is going to be a river rapids in somewhat of a complete new area for you guys, because it's like at the back right of the park. I'm also hearing the train again, so I'm going to go deaf while I'm trying to do my outro. But yeah, so that's going to be for the next video. And I need to take at least 15 more screenshots of this place. And especially when just all the stuff just pops out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little overview of what we've built so far. I just also hope you enjoyed just everything we've built so far. And I think I forgot to ask this a couple of times, or say this, but if you ever have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. So yeah, that's going to be it again. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you back in the next video, which is again going to be the river rapids. Anyway, again, have a wonderful weekend, you guys, and I'm really happy that we've come so far with Theonopolis. Bye bye, guys.